Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. Today we're kind of getting into the spring mode a little early because I picked up the Milani Luminoso eyeshadow palette. Milani released a Luminoso line that is being sold exclusively at Walmart, so I was able to get my hands on the palette and I finally bought the blush. This is the iconic Luminoso blush that has existed in the line for years and years and years. This palette is new. They also had a Luminoso lip gloss, which I believe also is already a part of their regular line. I think they just repackaged it to go in the Luminoso line. And then there was also a cream blush, but my Walmart was sold out of the cream blush, so I did not pick that up. So I created a look today using the eyeshadow palette and the blush and a few other things. So if you want to see how I created this look using the Milani palette, then just keep watching. Okay, so I did my base. So for my foundation, I used my Urban Decay Hydromaniac. I have the shade 30. So I did that all over the face, did the Catrice True Skin Concealer, and then powdered my whole face using my Kosas Cloud Powder, and then I did a little bit of bronzer using my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. Both of those are in my project pan, so I don't want to show the product and ruin any potential progress that will be coming in my upcoming update video for my project pan. Now I'm just going to prime my eyelids and get ready to use the Milani Luminoso eyeshadow palette. I picked this up a week ago and I've used it a number of times in the last week just to kind of get some ideas of how it works and what I want to do in this video. And just to show a comparison, so it's just a little cardboard magnetic opening. So this is the palette. I really do like the color story. This is right up my alley, the kind of colors I like to wear every day. But I will say, when I first got it and opened it, I was a little shocked at how small the eyeshadow pans are. I don't know if it's easy to tell on camera how small these are, but just to compare, here's a Tarte palette that also has circle pans in it, so you can just see the difference in size of the pans. And I feel like these are more like normal average size eyeshadow pans than this. So that's one thing I will say, the pans are quite small. But it doesn't make me too upset because this palette was like $12 or $13, and I really don't think that's obscene for getting, what's in here, 9 eyeshadows, even though they're smaller. I don't think it's terrible, but I just was a little surprised when I opened it and I was like, oh, those are quite tiny. So to get ready to use the palette, I'm going to prime my eyelids using my Fenty Beauty eyelid primer, which I use all the time. I'm feeling like this has got to be running out soon because it's very small, but I really don't think you need that much eye primer. I just get like a little amount and then just kind of spread it around my lid. All right, I kind of got in a little closer. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is take this In the Clouds shade right here with a Sigma E40 blending brush and just do that in the crease. Okay. Next, I'm going to take an E24 diffused blending brush and go into this bottom shade called Horizon. I dug my nail into it by accident, so it's got a little scratch in it, but I'm going to use this and put this in the, you know what, I think I'm going to try a halo eye finally today. So I'm going to put this in the outer and inner corner to try and do a halo eye. Wow. Okay, so that's pretty pigmented, I would say, but I do also feel like, I can't tell, I don't think I'm actually getting a lot of fallout from that, which is impressive, but I do feel like it's powdery in the pan. Okay, so next what I'm gonna do for the center of the lid is I'm going to go in with this pink moon shade. It just looks really pretty and I haven't used this one yet. I'm just gonna use my ring finger. I find that that usually works best when wanting to get like high impact color on my lid. And initially, just using my finger, it feels relatively smooth, maybe a tad bit dry and rough, but that also might just be with any new shadow you're using for the first time. Sometimes you just have to get that like top layer off. Okay, so that's actually a really pretty shade. It's just a little darker than what I was going for the halo eye center of lid color, but it is a really pretty pink sparkle. That's pretty, but actually I want it to be lighter because that's not quite how I wanted. So actually I'm gonna go in with the middle shade Luminoso. I mean, it's what the whole line and the palette is named after, so I guess I have to use that in the look somewhere. So I'm just gonna take a flat shader brush. So just tapping that. Yeah, that's looking more like that light halo eye that I was looking for. Okay, liking that. Again, gonna take my E40 and without any product on it at first, I'm just going to kind of blend. Okay, I feel like I even could maybe darken up the corner a tad bit more. Okay. Now I'm going to take a like fluffy brush and do my brow bone. So I'm going to use this shade, Halo. Focus. Yes. I think that looks pretty darn good. So I think what I'm gonna do now is grab a liner brush, and I think I'm gonna try and line and do like a slight wing with this sunset shade. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see how that works out, but I really wanna try that and see how it looks. Okay, so I'm taking an E60 tiny liner brush, and I find that when I'm doing any kind of liner, powder, or liquid, it helps me to start in the middle of my eyelid, and then that way it's a little less difficult to get like a totally straight line going all the way across your eye than if you just kind of do it in sections. It's super faint, but I kind of just did a slight little like wisp out. Okay, so this eye has the liner and this one does not. It's more subtle than using like a black or brown liner, but I don't know, I kind of think that's like a little fun. Okay, so that is the liner done on the top lash. Now I'm going to take a little pencil brush and do my inner corner. I don't want to mess up the halo eye too much, but I do want to add a little bit of brightness to the inner corner. So to do that, I'm going to use this shade down here, Beam. It's a little more pink than I would normally go for my inner corner, but that's just the name of the game with this palette. I'm just going to take a little bit of my Kosas powder and just kind of very lightly sweep under the eye. Clear out any potential fallout. And I'm going to go back with that pencil brush, and I'm kind of going to use the same colors I used in the order on my eye and just kind of do my under the lower lash line. So take the Horizon shade and do the outer. And then I'm gonna use, what did I, oh yeah, I used Luminoso. So I'm gonna take that and do the other half and kind of meet up with where I did that inner corner beam shade. Okay, so that is the eyes. I'm gonna throw on some mascara and then come back. Okay, so I'm back after some mascara. I used my Pacifica Vegan Collagen Mascara, and this I really like. I'm trying to use it up, but I will say, I don't know if it's like I have like faulty packaging, but like you can see up here, the lid cracked pretty early on, and then it's also kind of hard to see, but I feel like it doesn't like screw on evenly. And so I feel like it's just getting really messy. Like there's so much gunk around the thing, and then like, I mean, I could just wipe it off, but it's like this happens every time. So then like just now when I took the lid off to do it, I got like stuff on my hands, and I'm just kind of like, ugh, like that's just kind of not the best for the packaging. Although I do appreciate it is like a glass tube, which, you know, technically I guess would be recyclable when you're done if you like really rinse this out. I just don't know how easy it's going to be for me to rinse this out. And I like the formula. It's like a wetter mascara, which I typically prefer because I feel like that just helps separate my lashes more. But I prefer a wet mascara that then dries quickly, and this I feel like just like stays wet. So I just feel like it's a little messy. So I don't know. I still like it. I don't know if I would purchase it again full price because it is a pricier mascara. So maybe I would try it again and see if the packaging still had the same issues or if it was just this one that I got. But that's the mascara that I used, and I do think it looks nice on my lashes. Oh, see, look, there's like a wet chunk. All right, so I don't know. I like it, but I don't like it. It's one of those weird situations. So now I'm going to use the Luminoso blush, which I have never owned this before. I kind of was like in the store looking at the palette, and I was just like, how have I never even tried a Milani blush before? And on top of that, the baked Luminoso blush. It's like such a cult classic. So we are going to use this today. It is a baked blush, so it's got that dome shape. And just when I, oh wow, when I swatch it, that is way like more powdery than I was anticipating. It's very subtle. So I'm just gonna use a Real Techniques blush brush. Mine's a little dirty, but use the clean side. Oh wow, I literally just like tapped and it got so much product on there. So just be careful. Well, it looks like that's not the worst thing because it is it's a more subtle color on my skin. So I feel like even though I feel like I had a lot on the brush, it's not coming across like crazy on my cheek. Okay, that's pretty. And it does have a slight glow to it, so that's kind of nice. Don't have to necessarily use a highlighter when you're also using this blush. Okay, that's actually really pretty. I don't typically go for the peachy orangey shade, but I don't mind it. I'm gonna kind of blend a little bit because it is rather glowy. I usually don't go for a blush that has like shimmer in it. I usually like a more matte blush, but that's really nice for like a springtime look. Okay, and last but not least is lips. I did not purchase the Luminoso lip gloss from the line, mostly just because I don't feel like I need any more lip glosses in my collection right now. And when I was looking at the shade, it's just that kind of like peachy champagne color, which I feel like I already own and is similar to the e.l.f. lip lacquer in Fantasy. It's not quite the same. This is definitely more like pinky gold than the like orangey champagne. But I was just looking at it in the store and I was like, you know what? I bet it gives pretty much the same effect. So that's just something to think about, you know, when brand comes out with a whole line of products that you feel like you have to get all of them. You don't. You probably have some stuff in your collection that's already very similar, or you can find a cheaper version, or you just really don't need the whole thing for it to work. So first I'm going to line my lips with the Naked 2 Urban Decay lip liner. This is part of my Shop My Stash, which I'll link below. And now I'm just kind of going to fill in a little bit with the lip liner. I'm not going to use a lipstick today. I'm just going to stick with the liner just because it has more lasting power. Okay, so I just filled out like the outer corners, and then now I'm going to put my champagne gloss on top. Alright, so this is the final eye look. Try and get up close, see a little bit more of it. It's like that subtle, it's hard to see, it's easier on this side. I like the subtle, like maroon liner that I did. I really like this palette overall. Like I said, my main gripe with it is how small the pans are. I do feel like some of the shades are a little powdery. Like I showed earlier, that Luminoso shade had quite a bit of kick up. This shade had quite a bit of kick up, but some of the other ones did not. So it just kind of seems like hit or miss on the shades. But I do really like it, and I feel like for, like I said, I think this is being sold exclusively at Walmart, and I believe I paid like less than $13 for it. So I really don't think that's a bad price for a 9-pan eyeshadow palette. So I don't know, if it was any more expensive, I probably wouldn't recommend it. And I definitely don't think you need this. I know I have colors that are very similar to this in my collection and other palettes, but if you want maybe a more affordable option to have this color story, I think the price on this is actually really good, especially for Milani products. So I don't know, I feel like I do recommend this. I like it. However, if you can't get your hands on it buying it at Walmart, I probably wouldn't spend the extra shipping money to like order this. Whoa. I don't know if that's necessarily worth it, but if you can get your hands on it, I do think it's a really nice palette. It is kind of fun to get into that springtime mode using this palette, even though it's still mid-February. Just kind of getting that in my mind and having that to look forward to is fun. Definitely think these were really fun to use today. So thank you for watching today's video. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Let me know if you've tried this palette below or any of the other products in the Luminoso line, and what your favorite Milani product is. I was realizing these were my first Milani purchases that I had made ever. Please subscribe, I would really appreciate it, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.